Hello and welcome to Pest Perspectives episode 51. Crazy to believe that I'm at episode 51. Started last January. But now today we have on the Bedbug Queen from Bedbug Queen Limited. So there'll be a lot of bedbug chatter on all things bedbugs, as it's an area she specialises in as a company. So how are you, Sarah?
All good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to some gritty questions here. I want to get some things cleared up today.
Yeah, there's a lot on bedbugs, isn't there? So I was reading even an article recently from it was in BPCA's latest mag. It was Dr. Richard Naylor, who's been on the podcast. Yes. And he was saying
I'm going to go down and do one of his courses.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Welcome, Jason, in chat from Pest Control. Cheers for dropping in. But yeah, I was reading an article. He's a very clever bloke. He is. I'm not going to try and repeat what the article said because I will butcher it. I will. So it's worth a read anyway. It's online as well. You don't have to have the magazine. So, how did you get into the wonderful world of pest control? Let's start there first.
So, it was purely by accident. I lost my job. Well, I didn't lose it, but the job ended.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was going to do. Did what any logical person would do, went on holiday.
Okay. Yep.
And somebody that I knew had mutual connections, I'm looking for a technician, reckon you've got the right mentality for it. And I thought, bed bugs, what? Yeah, all right, I'll do it. And I genuinely thought it would be like a 6-month filler job till I found a real job.
Okay.
And I loved it. I hate, I'm spider-phobic. I absolutely hate them. Cockroaches don't even bring me into the room. I'm not doing it. But for some reason, bed bugs really got me. Yeah. And I loved it. I did it for 6 years. Left that company, thought that was it. Thought I'd leave that behind, go on to something else. Had a job for the last 3 years doing other stuff. But I kept my little bedbug group going. And the one on Facebook, Bedbugs, Facts and Evidence. And over the last year and a half, the stories that are coming in, the same stories. I've been treated. Let's see what you found. You don't have bed bugs. That pees me off beyond belief. Yeah, people that are sold a treatment because you got bites, they must be bed bug bites. They're really hard to find. We'll sell you £1,000 treatment here, you know?
It's I've just got to say shout out. Thanks for popping in. Is it Lewis? Thanks for popping in on Facebook.
Is that Louis Salkin?
That's it. There we go. Oh, there you go.
Honoured.
There you go. You're famous.
Entomologist of repute.
Oh wow. Got some celebrities in the house. Yeah.
These horror stories that started coming in, bad treatment practice, stories of people being treated, they're in the room with the technician while they're spraying.
Oh no, when in England, I
swear to you. And just failure after failure. People, it's not that the treatments they're being given are necessarily poor, but the customer's not being informed in a really plain and simple way. So my 3 golden rules. I bang on about them all the time. Yeah. Don't use any over-the-counter sprays or fogger bombs. Yeah. Don't move anything out of infested rooms unless it's thoroughly sealed. And don't abandon infested rooms. Those 3 things alone would make every pest controller's job 10 times easier. If everybody could just follow those 3 things. And it's such a simple... They're such simple things, It is.
Just going to say a shout out to my good friend who is also in your bedbug group. But I feel the need to give him a massive shout out. to remove a pest. Leo, well done. 51 episodes in, and you finally made it live. Cheers, mate. In the building.
Nice.
Oh, he's a good lad.
Nice.
Yes.
So, yeah. And do you know what? You don't want to pee off a middle-aged menopausal woman. And my rage just grew and grew and grew. And in the end, I just decided, sod it, I'm going to do it myself. And with nothing, from nothing, no business knowledge, literally, I've been a mum, a gran, and I've had a couple of jobs in my life. That's it. And I've thrown myself at it. And we're not quite there yet. We're not quite profitable yet.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We're running. We're up and running. We're getting successes. And I just want to get the message out there. If we can get those simple messages out there to people, then it's going to help all of us.
Oh, no, I definitely agree, because obviously, and you're not alone there when you say, I don't know anything about business. The vast majority, I'm not saying everyone, but when they start up a pest control business, a lot of people do not really understand the business side of it. They're good at the job, the career, but actual business acumen, etc., it's not a thing that we, even sales, it's not a thing they generally teach you. Unless you work for a big national, that's different. But the business side, you'd never learn. But it's a learning curve for everyone. It is.
It's steep. I don't think I've slept through the night since I started it, but it's all right. It's okay. I've learned to farm out what I can't handle. So I have an accountant. I have nothing to do with that side.
There you go.
Do you know what?
We
have my carrier bag
Yeah.
of receipts, and I'll speak to you in 3 months. Thank you very much.
Well, we obviously know what we're doing in that front, but we do have an accountant just to double check everything's fine. But as if you make a mistake, it's not their fault, it's your fault.
Of course.
As always. Thank you, Andy Proper, for popping in. Appreciate that. I reckon some of your Facebook groups coming into this, I reckon.
Well, we smashed. I mean, we did put plenty of promotion out there.
You're right. You are.
The more people we can get, the better.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, obviously, you started this journey. How did you go about when you were first starting? Like, did you go limited straight away?
I did.
You did.
And mostly because it just seemed to flow nicely with the Bedbug Queen.
Oh,
Queen Limited. And it just felt nice. And I thought, if I'm going to do it, just do it. Throw everything at it. It will work. I know it will work. The demand is there. Pest controllers are happy to work with me. I'm happy to work with them. Like, the work is there. This will be a success. It's just that beginning part. I mean, I'm not even a year in yet. I think I incorporated in June. So
okay.
So
still very new to it, obviously.
Yeah, very new.
You are.
Very new.
Another person, Gary McKay, thanks for dropping in. But no, that's so. How did you go about your first? When did you get your first job? And were you daunted by it because it's under your own brand? Did you get the website going first before you tried to get any?
So I did a few bits and pieces. I got the website up and sort of like on Google, and then started doing a little bit of tweaking. Well, I didn't. I paid a very nice, knowledgeable person to tweak it for me and all that. And just started working on things like branding, which is something I'd never even given any consideration to, and getting signage for the car, those sorts of things, just getting all those things in place.
It's important.
A lot
of people don't think about branding properly, and you have, but a lot of people don't think about it properly. So a lot do, but some don't. It's an afterthought. It is.
Yeah, I reached out. The local council has a little small business, startup thing with courses and stuff like that. And
I'm in one of them now. Not it progresses through, but I got a grant through that as well recently. But when you go with loads of plan
was to get do the business startup loans from the government, but it was just such a complicated process. I just thought, okay, don't go big, go small. Print what you can yourself. Write what you can yourself.
Okay. It's kind of what they call kind of a bootstrap. You do what you can yourself. You do. Because obviously, I imagine what the business loans you were talking about, you'd have to have a sales forecast, a whole business plan. You'd have to have, and most people don't know how to do any of that. I'm learning that stuff now, even though we're an established business. Some of that stuff I'm starting to learn now. I am.
Yep.
But it's things people don't know how to do. It is. Chris Sells, thanks for popping in. And he said, good on you, Sarah.
Oh, thank you very much. Don't know which bit, but we'll take it.
Yeah. But no, that's you are right, to be fair. Like website for stuff like that, you are best to get someone else to build it.
Yeah.
And at least you're a limited company now, because if you do use Google Guarantee, which I don't know a lot of people do, well, the rules have now flipped the script now. If you're a sole trader, you're no longer allowed to use it. You have to be a limited company. They've thrown them all off
that's
it.
Handy.
And you can't, but it's not for the sole traders. But I think it's got to do with all this, you must verify your identity with company's house and everything. I think it's got something to do with that. I don't know.
Mind you, to do the Google verified, you have to take a video and walk down the street and show them the road sign. And it was insane.
Yeah, we never had to do that because we started Google Guarantee when it first started. So they never used to ask you for all that. We were already verified. But yeah, I understand it is a bit of a nightmare setting it up, but it's the cheapest way of getting business because it's not per click, it's per call. So if they decide not to ring you, you don't get charged.
Yeah. Mind you, I've had some funny calls. At 9 o'clock at night, the phone rang. And this lady said, I wonder if you can help me. I have a bat in my living room.
And you said, I can't touch that, obviously.
I'm awfully sorry. That is not my area of expertise. I recommend you call the bat conservation people.
Yeah, we had it once where a bloke kept ringing us on. We got different area numbers as well sometimes. And but can't you just come and remove it? I said, no. He gave any advice like you did. He gave up in the end. I said, it's not a job for pest control. That is not. 2 years ago, he gave up in the end. It flew into his bathroom, you see. It did.
I mean,
awkward.
But, I mean, nothing a towel wouldn't. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
Oh yeah, let's not say that.
Let's not do that.
But no. So when you got was your first job through Google Guaranteed? It was.
No. I think the first job, I think that was before I did the Google. So I'd done a couple of inspections just to sort of get my eye in. And they sort of came through local groups, like next door and that kind of thing. And people just posting like, oh, I've got these bites and blah, blah, blah. And does anybody know a good pest control? And I got in quick and just said, I can do an inspection. I'm not selling you a treatment because I'm not set up and running yet.
Yeah.
But I can come and take a look. So I think the first couple came that way. Neither of them had bed bugs.
Okay.
So
were they okay with you saying that? Because a lot of the time they will send, I hate to say it, I've had it a few times where you do the inspection, you can't find anything, and legally you're not allowed to do anything. I know many companies out there will.
I know, yes.
There's many out there, unfortunately. And when you tell them you've got no bed bugs and they present you with an envelope full of bits of skin, etc.
Bogies.
I just say, unfortunately, you got to be careful. We're not trained for this, are we? It's a learning skill. You got to be very careful as well. You have.
You have.
It's a hard thing to deal with sometimes. It is.
It is. I think there's a couple of things why it tends to work for me. I think it's very different as a female. And that's okay. I know we're all very modern and we don't make gender assumptions and blah, blah, blah.
I get it. I do.
But a female in your home who has a calm demeanor and is really talking you through the process and is taking the time, and I'll talk about time again a bit later on, is taking the time to listen to your concerns and explain to you clearly why you're mistaken. You're not mad. You're not an idiot. you are mistaken. And I can show you that other things can cause what's happening to you. And here is a link to an article that talks about static. Here is an article, you know, all those things. And during my process of inspection, I generally find that I can talk most people down off of that ledge that they're on. I can pull them back from the edge of the rabbit hole by facts and evidence, you know, pointing out the fact, yes, I know bed bugs can live anywhere and we've all seen them everywhere. But in the early stages of an infestation, they are not going to be living in your hallway cupboard or, you know, in the bathroom or the kitchen. You know, finding a bed bug in the kitchen to me is always a red flag for a neighbouring property issue. I don't know about you. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I will agree with you because I don't do many bed bug jobs per year. That's how many I get. So I will agree with you. You're more of the expert than me.
Okay. So, you know, and just talking about the logic of their behaviour, how they want to be near the bed. It's our actions that push them away from the beds 9 times out of 10. I know females move away a bit for biological reasons, but generally speaking, if you leave them alone and you happen to change your clothing before you leave your bedroom, you're probably not going to spread them to your lounge. In the early stages, at least let's say in the first 3 or 4 months, it's highly unlikely. If you're the person that gets up in the morning, has got an ensuite shower, and you get out your night clothes, have your shower, put your clean clothes on from the wardrobe that's been nowhere near the bed and leave the bedroom, you're not going to take them with you. If you're not spraying your bed with chemicals, they're not going to move out to your wardrobe and the ceiling junction. So all of those little things. You know, if you don't drag your mattress through the house when you've got bed bugs, you're probably not going to infest the hallway, the 2 bedrooms next door and the lounge.
Okay.
You know, by explaining those things, it gradually brings people down.
That's really good. That is you sound like you really are really good with customers, especially
I'm a people person.
The way you explain it sounds like it would really calm someone down that was thinking, because it's a difficult situation. It looks like you've got to grips with how to deal with it the best you can.
It's something I enjoy. I do enjoy that part of the job, but there are cases where you just cannot convince the person. And on a couple of occasions, I have said, I recommend you speak to your GP, you know, and that's as far as I'll go.
Okay.
You know, but there are the occasional cases.
Don't you find it bad when, like, I've heard cases of where, sadly, they go to the GP and they tell them what they think it is, and the GP go, "Yeah, they are bed bugs. Get a pest controller." You can't tell by the bites, can you? And
I usually say, "Take my report with you."
Oh, do you? Good.
Take my report with you. Which I make quite detailed. If I know it's going to be that kind of, and as I say, they're quite rare. I mean, you know, they're not everyday cases. But I'll say take my report with you to explain to the GP why it cannot be this. And we need to look at other things.
Exactly. Also, I've just been corrected by Jason. He says you are wrong. You are allowed to catch and release it back outside.
So throwing the towel over it safely and not harming it and putting it out the window.
Apparently it's legal. I wouldn't want to do that, though, to be fair. So, you know, I wouldn't.
Well, it's like the old grey squirrel question, isn't it? When they get trapped, you're not allowed to release them.
You're not non-native.
And yet, before I did the course, I was not aware of that. Before I did my level 2 course, I would have just let it go, or assumed that if I gave it to a wildlife place, they'd nurture it back to health and
they'd nurture it. They'd nurture it a different way. They would. Because it even says, like I said, I didn't post, but when in my local town a while ago, there was the injured grey squirrel, and they're all talking about it. And someone put a screenshot up saying, if you take that to the vets, they'll just euthanize it. And it says it. They're not allowed. And that's even if you make it in your car without being attacked.
By the squirrel,
trying to get out your car.
Yeah.
Jason's actually said place it in a box and release it at night. Don't release it in the daytime. The man of facts tonight, Jason. Cheers for that.
Every day's a school day.
It is. So, obviously, you're new from that perspective. Is it just bedbug control, or do you cover any other kind of insects at all?
So my initial plan was to do, wasps, because everybody knows wasps can be a nice little steady stream of income in the summer.
Oh yes, they are. I know that too well. Yeah.
So that was my plan, and I did plan to sort of steel myself for other domestic pests, cockroaches and stuff. Obviously, I'll do fleas if necessary. I don't like to treat for carpet beetles, and I'll explain why in a minute.
Okay.
But then when I thought about it, I thought if I want to do wasps, I really need to go out with someone a few times to actually see how it's done. You can't learn this job on paper. You can't just go and do
especially
the course.
with wasps, and now you've got to be a lot more accurate with the way you do
I've
your
heard,
nests.
yeah. I know all about the chemicals and all that. Yeah. That was a hot topic last summer in the group.
It very much was. Yeah. Get up in the end commenting.
And then I think a couple of months ago, I just thought, no, do you know what? I'm just gonna stick to the bed bugs. Partly because I think it's better. Okay. For myself, from the business perspective and from a confidence perspective. I think if I'm gonna say I'm specialising in bed bugs, well then I should specialise in bed bugs. And so I've limited my market somewhat. However, I have confidence that the brand will grow and it will be very successful at some point.
I mean, obviously, it is an industry where you can specialise. They say you can specialise, and that really is specialising.
Yeah,
that is, because you're not alone. Obviously, you started out, but there is firms that just do bed bugs. Mm-hmm. There is. Obviously, they're a little bit bigger than you, but it doesn't happen overnight, does it? They probably started out just doing it themselves.
Yep,
they did. So it can be a good business if you know what you're doing and you market it the right way, etc.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never going to be taking the big money jobs, the heat treatment jobs, because I'm not strong enough to hoik that kind of equipment around, frankly. And also, it has to be so precise to get heat treatment right. I came into, when I started doing my own, when I was working before, I came across so many heat treatment failures. I was of the opinion that heat treatments don't work. My opinion has changed a bit because I've met a few people now that are successful at heat treatments. Okay. But I find that it's not just a matter of they come in, they set up some heaters, they bugger off, they come back. These are guys that are going in, measuring they're measuring the temperatures in the voids and in cool spots. They're heating much quicker now. I think part of the problem in the early days of heat, at least here, was they were electric heaters and things like that. They don't get the heat out quick enough. The bed bugs just move. They withdraw into the walls. They withdraw into the floors or wherever the electrical system.
I heard some of the old ones take 6 to 8 hours to heat up. Yeah. That's no good, is it?
No, that's just not going to work. So what I have discovered in the last year is every method can work. In fact, it's process over product.
Okay.
So the way you do the job, and whether that includes preparation or post-treatment or what the treatment itself, it's process over product. Every single process can work for some people. So there are guys that still just use chemical. Yeah. There are some people that will use steam and a chemical, or steam and a non-chemical product, DE, silicon dioxide, that kind of thing. Okay. There are people that make heat work. They can all work, but it is about how you do it and how much you understand the location, the construction of the building. All these things can be relevant. I would say never use heat treatment in a block of flats. A 1970s tower block which the construction is so open and the pipework is all shared and the electrical system is all shared, you heat up that flat in the middle, the chances are at least 1 or 2 bed bugs, if you don't do it quick enough and well enough, are going to get into neighbouring properties.
I've heard it where that in London, I don't know who, but they've had where they just they heat the entire block of flats up instead. That must have cost a pretty penny.
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it must work to a certain extent, but again, you're in the group, you read the posts.
Oh, yeah.
Some gentleman posted yesterday or the day before, he's in a block. The company, the housing association or the landlords of the block have bought in a large company. They've paid them a rather large sum of money that would do me nicely for the year. Thank you very much. To do heat treatments, and it's failed.
Oh, that's not good.
It's failed. So I don't know. I don't even know if that would be possible to cover an entire tower block. That seems utterly impossible to me.
It does. Someone said it. I don't know if it was true or they just meant. I don't
or maybe a smaller block, but even
maybe
then,
it was smaller. Yeah.
Even like an 8 flat 4-story block. I just think the variables are just too much. I'd rather take a more targeted, direct approach.
You are right. It's always about targeted treatments. It is. Oh, with the biggest thing was obviously on the group. The biggest thing you mentioned is please don't put up your bite pictures. It's not an indicator.
Yeah.
Because I've had people show me bites before in person. I was like, that's not an indicator.
Yeah,
that's not.
And I find that there are some times where you look at a bite, even though I say it. I mean, you see it, and it's not just once a day. I mean, it's literally constantly. I should have it on my clipboard, so I can just copy and paste it each time. I've done it. I've walked and looked and thought, well, they look suspicious.
Yeah.
Even I do it sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's a hard one.
It's a hard one because the problem is sometimes people don't tell you, but then they start scratching them.
Yeah,
making them worse.
Now, see, the other thing is so many people don't respond to the bites.
Yeah.
I have heard it quoted, and probably Louis will probably know better than I do on this, but I have heard it quoted. Some people believe that around about 60% of people have little or no reaction to bedbug bites.
It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? What the bedbug actually does to you when you read what they do.
Yep.
They put what's it called? They numb the area, don't they, while they're doing it, so you don't feel it.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so neither me or my husband respond to bedbug bites. Guess how I know?
Wow.
I brought them home.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
There we go. That wasn't fun.
I have many skin-leasant pictures from feeding bedbugs over the last 45 years.
I told you he'd know.
And they don't look all the same.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
I can feel one bedbug feeding. Wow.
Oh, yeah, well,
Hey, have you offered your services to go and sleep in Richard's lab for the night and have bedbugs feeding to you?
I would do it. I'd do it. I'd do it. It's such a weird thing. I don't know. It's just because I became so familiar with them, so up close and personal. Because the company I worked for was a non-chemical company and not heat treatment.
Okay.
So we're talking getting up close and personal. You're literally sitting in a divan bed frame. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's really detailed work. Yeah. And I've had them on me and I've had them on my boat. So they just don't scare me. And I try and get this to my customers. I think of them as no different to my dog or my cat having fleas or getting bitten by mosquitoes on holiday. Because I know I can fix it, they just don't bother me. I can quite happily just pick one up and, fine, come on, off you go, in a bag or whatever I'm going to do, squish it in a bit of tissue down the loo. They just don't bother me.
It's good. You are the bed bug queen, so obviously.
If only I could order them around. Now, all of you, out of the door immediately. That would be good.
That would be good. So, obviously, you're obviously a professional, and you wouldn't obviously recommend that people try and do it themselves, would you?
I would recommend nothing more than vacuuming.
Vacuuming, okay. There you go, people.
Detailed vacuuming of the bed frame and the surrounding areas can, even if you can't completely resolve it, because sometimes there are really difficult cases. Sometimes, we see a lot of elderly people that have got them, and they're housebound or bedbound, and you have to work with what you've got. You know what I mean? And a bedbound patient cannot be chemically treated.
No, you're right. A lot of them, sadly, are in the seats in care homes.
Yep, exactly.
They can't really...
That's another horror story, isn't it? Care homes.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm very much of the... I will, for people that ask specifically about DE or silicon dioxide,
so
I might have that conversation. I'll have the conversation.
DE is diatomaceous earth, if you didn't know, but just in case anyone that isn't in the industry.
Yep.
That's something you've ever used?
Yeah. Literally.
Do you use it on carpets and stuff?
Edges. So what I was taught, the way I was trained, was to apply extremely lightly.
Can you have that? Because I was led to believe, I've never used it, that although it's non-toxic, it's still, if you breathe it in, it's not good for you.
Yes, absolutely. What you don't want, and people say it, you read it in the, sprinkle your carpet with diatomaceous earth.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, please, guys, please don't do that. So it's literally hidden areas, along the edge of the skirting board, and apply. And I really, really, really mean lightly. You should barely be able to see it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Hidden areas on the bed frame, no problem. Yeah. Backs of headboards, no problems. Backs and underneath of sofas, no problems. But you don't really want it on the front cushions, because when you sit down, you might get a little puff, and you really don't want that in the air.
No, you don't. There we go. DE can be an inhalant hazard if overapplied, and also leads to psychosis, irreversible medical condition.
Yeah, silicosis, absolutely. Damages your lungs.
I'm dropping some serious knowledge in here.
Handle with caution. Handle with caution. I've walked into places where, as I walk through the front door, I can smell the DE in the air, and that is no exaggeration. Literally, divan bases that are white, where it is piled, like literally, and crazy amounts used.
A lot of people
I removed the comment today because somebody had recommended, I think it was a 5-litre tub. They put a link up from Amazon. I wouldn't use that in 2 years.
That's a lot of powder.
You know what I mean? So I removed the comment just because of that health concern.
Somebody would probably go and do it, though, wouldn't they? And go and buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's why, I'm in there swift, get that comment out. I'm just not, as I say, it can be useful, but it needs to be treated with caution. And not sprinkling it everywhere, and definitely not on places like your mattress,
Another tip here, vacuum cleaners will be destroyed by vacuuming DE over time. Also true. I'm learning big time here. I am.
Do you know what's really, I'm feeling relieved and somewhat smug, because this is stuff that I've learned. This is stuff I've been taught. This is stuff I've learned through experience. And I get a lot of pest controllers.
Yeah.
Bless you all, guys. But you've learned your way, and you don't want to hear another approach.
See, I hate that, because our industry is made a lot of, obviously, we do, trade show days.
Yeah.
All the associations have their on the road days. And the reason we do CPD, continuous professional development, It's so we can learn new ways of doing our job better. So
yes.
I'm open to all the new methods, but there are some of the old guard who will never change how they do it.
Yeah, and I'm afraid we're not in the 80s and 90s anymore. Back then, maybe you could walk into a house, a 20-minute spray. You might have to go back once for a second respray, and that'd be it. Those days are gone, guys. We're not there anymore. No. The resistance issue is becoming really quite frightening now.
One thing that I heard, it wasn't on my podcast, it's on Beauties and Beasties when Dr. Richard Naylor on, and it blew my mind about how this pyrethroid resistance happened. And I always thought it was the pest controllers over the years. Apparently not. The bed frames are laced in pyrethroids. I was like, damn, I didn't know that. When I heard it, I was like, I didn't know that.
I think there's that, and another personal pet theory is where you've got more people using low dosage products.
Yeah.
It's almost like getting a vaccine. I know the process is different, and Louis again can give you the biology on this. But if you are exposed several times to a low dose of something, you become not immune necessarily, but it affects you less. It's the same with addiction. If you think about it,
it is.
Cigarettes, whether it's nicotine or illegal drugs, you need more and more and more in order to do the job. And we cannot make stronger and stronger chemicals because of the life cycle issue. Their life cycle is so quick, compared to, and we're going to damage human health. I mean, some of the products sold abroad are absolutely terrifying. I am so thankful that we are governed. I know, there's a whole EU argument that's happened and we're over that now. Thank you very much. But I am extremely grateful for those strict EU health laws, because even the products we use, we know they are still harmful. We cannot deny that.
Sadly, though, with even the bed bug sprays you buy, I hate to say it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but anyone can go and buy them on the internet. But if you go to a proper professional pest control supplier, they won't sell you it. But there's many shops on, and unfortunately.
Yes, I agree. When I did my, because I was new to business, I actually went with the BPCA and I did their business startup course, which included the level 2, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I was lucky enough to be on the level 2 with the lady that is the new chief exec, I think Rasheen, I think her name is. And she took the course with us because she knew nothing about pest control. So she wanted to learn it from that perspective, which I really respected her for. Now she is lobbying Parliament, and I've had several conversations with her about that. And she's going to be trying to, we'll never stop it. It's just the way of modern shopping, but some more regulation, some more customs checks, those sorts of things.
Oh yeah, you have to buy rodenticides now. You have to have at least a basic certificate, but not with insecticide. It's very weird.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
but obviously, if you're not a professional using professional grade products, you're breaking the label. And just because you bought a product, you don't know how to use the product effectively.
This is it, as I say, process over product. If it was just a matter of the American market, and Louis will be very familiar with this, Crossfire. They all talk about Crossfire.
I hear this all the time.
Crossfire and Apprehend, but let's stick with Crossfire for now.
Yeah.
If it was just as simple as going out and buying a canister of Crossfire and spraying it, America would have, and Apprehend as well, I suppose, really, then America would no longer have a bedbug problem.
There you go. Right?
And yet we still do. So it is process over product.
Some of the bedbug clips I've put out there with Richard Naylor on YouTube, I get comments like, "Is Crossfire good?" And I don't reply to them. I'm like, I'm not replying. I'm no expert. I'm not advising nothing.
I just say it's not a product license for use in the UK. And because I only really comment in my group, which is UK based, it says UK in the title, but you'd never believe it reading some of the posts. That's not licensed for use in the UK. That is my only response on it. It may be a fabulous chemical. It may be really good. if used correctly.
But as you say, I mean, if all these products did work, they'd be wiped out in America by now, nearly.
Right, because out there you can buy it. You don't need a license of any kind.
Unless you're in California, then it's very...
Well, okay, but California maybe.
California's
maybe California's sensible.
Yeah, so sadly, we followed California in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Some of their things are good, some of them ain't, but,
Exactly. and this is the thing. I think we all need to accept... I'm not going to comment on rodenticides because that's not my area of expertise. But we're just going to have to accept the fact we are not, while we are looking after human health, we are not going to develop a product that wipes out bed bugs and fleas and head lice and all those other creatures that are becoming immune to the chemicals that we can, and I use this term loosely, safely use. Yeah. Because we know we have to have health monitoring.
Yeah.
Because we use these products. If a product's used incorrectly, or on bed linens, for example, which is another horrific story I hear all the time. See, I don't even spray the mattress.
See, if people would read the label a lot of the time, you're not allowed to.
Right. With some products, you can.
You can.
Some you can, some you can't.
There's one. You got a symmetrical super, but they've also got a spray version for mattresses.
Yes.
That one is.
RTU, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
But I don't. Even with the ones, and again, it's one of those things. Just because you can, think about it. Should you? Do you need to? It's almost a risk assessment. Do you need to spray the mattress? No, you don't. You just don't.
No.
So I don't spray the mattress.
Obviously, you could. Do you use steam?
Yes, my favourite piece of equipment.
I presume you steam the mattress as well, don't you?
I steam look, again, the bottom line is, if they're on your mattress, you can see them.
Yeah.
They're not invisible. A quick, a turn around the seams, a quick look around the buttons. But I'll run the steamer over the button area, around the seams, those sorts of places. But am I steaming the whole mattress? No.
No. They only usually go to one particular area. And Adam Edwards, my mate, thank you. Yeah, you're right. It was the symmetrical RFU.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Yeah. That's the one.
You can, but you don't need to.
You don't need to. But thanks for popping in, Adam, from T&R Pest Solutions. Thanks for popping in, mate. 2 years in business he's been in. Well done.
Nice.
Yeah, so right. Where do you sit? Have you got any advice on other pest? I know there's people in there watching from the public, but this is actually, an industry-focused podcast. Have you got any tips that? Because not everyone specialises in bedbug control, obviously. Have you got any tips on inspecting? What's your best tips?
Yeah,
on inspecting.
So when I turn up at a customer's house, I'll try and have a little chat with them first. Tell me what's been going on. Where did this start? When did it start? What exactly has been happening? What have you found? And put the kettle on. That's how my visits go. And then once I've got my cup of tea and I've got some information there. This has been going on for 6 months. I was sleeping in this room, but I've now moved to this room. I'm still being bitten. La la la. So you've got a narrative in your head.
Yeah.
Had you been away recently? Yeah. Well, we came back from wherever about 3 weeks before. Had terrible bites on holiday. Thought it was mosquitoes. Okay, so now you've got a narrative in your head.
Yeah.
They think they've had them for about 6 months. You're not going to have to look that hard, right? Not after 6 months. But anyway.
No.
So, and then again, it depends on the bed. So it would be bed linens off. I know it sounds really basic stuff. I don't inspect pillows, duvets beyond a quick cursory look.
Okay.
Put them to one side. Mattress. So I look at the area of the mattress I can see. So the surface, the sides, especially around the handles. The handles on the mattress, one of those little hot spots, and obviously seams around the head end of the bed. So pull it down the bed a little bit. Visual look that way. Mattress off the bed, and then inspect the underside. So exactly the same. And you're looking for your black spotting, the fecal trace. You might see bed bugs on there. You do see bed bugs running sometimes, but I generally don't find the mattress is the favourite spot for them.
Let me guess.
Unless it's a metal framed bed.
Okay.
And then you're more likely. Sorry.
Is it the headboard? Is my guess? No.
Headboard is my next place. Okay. So pull the bed away from the wall, get behind the headboard, and I've never needed to remove the fabric for an inspection because they tend to hang around just on the little seams. They like to hide in a little nook. So creases, seams, any piping, zips around zips. So just peeling back and looking. It's just a visual inspection. Then where the headboard fixes to the bed, there's often those two wooden sort of posts. Looking at those, quite often find fecal trace on those. Then headboard off the bed, check where it attaches to the bed. So I'm assuming this is going to be a divan bed for our purposes. If there's drawers, take the drawers out. Usually at this stage, they've got stuff in the drawers. So I just take the drawers out at this point. Don't go through them right now. Turn the divan upside down. Look around the edges of that fabric underneath, especially around the feet, wheels, legs, anything like that, which can not always, but can be an entry point to the bed. Up the leg, up the wheel, onto the bed. So looking around that. If I don't find anything around those edges, I don't take the fabric off. So I'd be expecting to find shed skins and live bugs in those areas. So I found no fecal on the back of the headboard, no eggs. That black fabric that's usually on the back of a headboard, fabulous for seeing eggs. You can't not see them. You just can't. It's so distinctive and so visible. You've got your torch, as long as you've got your glasses on, you'll see them. So I found no shed skins around the bottom of the bed. I've seen no live bugs. There's no fecal trace on the back of the headboard. All I'm going to do at that stage is monitor. That's what we're going to do at this stage. We're going to pop a monitor down. I haven't seen anything here. However, while I was here, I did happen to notice a couple of carpet beetle shed skins.
Okay.
Carpet beetle larvae shed skin. Well, the hairs from the carpet beetle larvae. Yeah. I know, Louis. I know they've got a proper name, but I don't know it.
Woolly bear.
No, but the actual hairs, they've got a name. It begins with ST, but I've forgotten what it is. So those hairs can become airborne, and they can cause a bite-like skin reaction that is frequently mistaken for bedbug bites.
He's fast off the mark.
Thank you. I knew there was
I'm not going to attempt to say that. Hey, I can't say it.
No, I can't say it. It's fine. Thank you, Louis.
You want to know this, people? You're watching after the fact. Look on the video. It's there.
It's written down for everyone to see. So those hairs they're tiny. They can pierce the skin and they can cause a bite-like skin reaction. 9 times out of 10. Those skin reactions, and you'll see in the group, I always say bites, strokes, skin reactions. If it's not bed bugs, it's carpet beetle larvae hairs. It really is. And I did not believe it until I've seen it in countless cases. So it's the next thing I look for. While I'm having a look along that skirting board area, I'm looking for those as well. Or on the bed frame. You'll find them on the bed frame quite a lot.
It lines up with what Dr. Richard Naylor said. He actually mentioned that carpet beetles was one of the biggest misidentifications. But it's actually not bed bugs, it's carpet beetle. He said.
And now I'm going to get on to why I don't treat for carpet beetles. If you're having skin reactions from them. If they're destroying your silk carpet, okay, fair play. We're going to do something about that. But if the reason you want the carpet beetles gone is because of skin reactions, the last thing you want to do is kill more carpet beetle larvae. Because then you've got more deteriorating corpses, more hairs becoming airborne.
Oh, I see, okay.
And more skin reactions. So I just recommend thorough detailed vacuuming.
Yeah.
And something to diminish static. This was something else I think I spoke to Richard about and another pest controller. It's the static that causes it to be attracted to us if it's not cool. Because quite often these hairs get caught in waistbands and collars for ladies in bra straps and things like that. The hairs get caught in it and then they get these persistent lines of bites in these areas.
It's in this book, Phantom Biting. But they've got this little book called Baratine's Pest Control Technicians, and it's got that about static in offices. Yeah. It's got that in there. I used it actually at a house. I actually said, read this. This is what I think you got. And it turned out,
a really simple solution. A little bit of fabric conditioner mixed with some water and lightly sprayed.
Yeah.
There you go. It's so simple. We don't have to go around killing everything. I'm a little bit of a hippie. Can I tell you one of my funniest stories?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
I got called to a job in London, and I turned up, and it was in quite a hipster area of East London.
Yeah.
And there was this lovely young couple in their early 20s in their lovely little apartment, and they had bed bugs, and they'd had them for a fair few months.
Yeah.
They were both vegans.
Okay.
Actually, I got offered the worst cup of tea in my life. Would you like a cup of tea? Yes, please. Obviously. Would you like pea milk in that? Yeah, I think that's the face I pulled. And I was like, you know what? I think I'll have it black. Thank you. But anyway, so the young lady went to work and the gentleman was the one at home with, one of these with the top knot and all of that business.
Yeah.
And he said, will you be able to get rid of them without killing them?
Oh.
I was like, not really. I'm not the Pied Piper of Hamelin.
Bed bug transplantation. Yes. 100 grand I can try.
So, yeah, we had to have quite a serious conversation about how I completely understood his ethics, but this was a problem that could only be solved by me terminating their life.
Did they go ahead with the job? Did they want you to do it? Or
They did. I also had a Buddhist who had to leave the house because she couldn't bear to be in the property while I killed innocent creatures. I said, well, I don't have to take the job.
Yeah.
She said, no, but I want them gone.
Oh, right. You just don't want to be in the house. Also, shout outs to Mark Porter. Mark Porter, thanks for popping in.
Hi, Mark.
He's had some big jobs. He has.
I know. He's just had a lovely holiday as well.
South Africa.
I've been very, very jealous of.
But would you want to get in the cage and swim with the sharks? That's what he did.
No, I'll sleep in the bedbug-filled room at Richard's house.
Yeah. People are saying anti-static spray. Also, they're known as cable bugs. They also call it. I think it means from the static.
And I think it's the same thing. I think we're talking about the same thing. They're called cable bugs, but it's the hairs from the carpet beetle larvae. Yeah. And I don't think it's just carpet beetle larvae. I think it's any of the domestic sort of larval stages. They have these things that he said that we can't say.
Yeah. Now he's broke it down a little bit actually.
Hastiseti.
That's Hastiseti. That sounds good. So it's Hastiseti.
Right. Yeah, so I think that's something people need to consider. And often, sometimes, if you can actually find those, the carpet beetle sheds and actually show people that, again, it goes back to that reassurance.
Hang on. Some don't have it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
but
you.
Some do. There we go.
Yeah, some do.
As I said, I keep saying to people, I'm not an entomologist. I'm really not. I just happen to have a passion for bed bugs, and I can recognise most of it. And everything else, I fumble my way through, or I reach out to people that I trust. Like Louis, I often tag him in the group. So something that comes up quite regularly is ladybird abdomens.
Okay.
Have you come across this? Now, I know Louis is now going to be searching through his gallery of pictures to show us. So quite often you will get, it's the abdomen of an insect. It is brown. It is It's got the lines across it. Again, he'll correct me. You know, the classic bed bug kind of looking thing. Sometimes it looks like there's blood in the abdomen. We had it in the group last week, and believe me, the argument went on and on and on and on.
Oh, I missed this post, man.
Right.
Is it still there?
I saw it. I looked at it. I said straight away, it looks like a ladybird part. It's beetle, looks like a ladybird part. Yeah. It went backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards and forwards. No, it's a bed bug. Look, you can see it. Get new glasses. It went on and on and on. Anyway, long story short, I was proved right. But anyway, they look very much like it, and it's really worth looking. I will do a post in the group, and I'll post it in the pest controllers group as well. Ladybird, bird beetles. That's it. It's often the Asian ladybirds in America. It comes up quite a lot.
So are you talking about what we call harlequin ladybirds?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. I've dealt with them before. Yeah.
But you can find the abdomens, and believe me, honestly, that's fine. I'll put a post in the group, Louis, later. I've still got the pictures you let me use. So honestly, even myself, and I would have said it was a bedbug abdomen until I learned differently. And once you've seen enough, there's something about, look, geniuses will look and pick out specific things and the antenna's wrong here, or this is wrong. I don't do that. To me, the shape of it looks wrong. It's just slightly too round, and it's almost got like a rim around the edge, is how I describe it. Bat bugs and bird bugs, martin bugs, swallow bugs. Again, these are things that look to the naked eye almost identical to bed bugs. I had a job, and this is something, again, I only learnt from experience. I went to a job, and I don't get many revisits. It's unusual for me to have to go back to a customer 3 times. By the time I'm going back 4 times, something is really wrong here. And this was a detached house, so we can rule out neighbours. Yeah. The gentleman was being extremely careful. He was following all the instructions. And yet still he's showing me samples. He's still showing me live bugs walking around. What the hell is going on here? Yeah. So I reached out to the manager of the company, said, I can't figure this out. I need you to come down and take a look at this job. And he came down and he looked and he said, you need to get up in the loft. And there had been bats there at some point previously, and they had left. So the bat bugs were coming down. They weren't breeding. And I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe they actually need the correct host's blood to be able to breed normally. I could be wrong on that. So that's just come into my head. And then there are swallow and martin bugs, which look very similar, but I wouldn't say as much so as the bat bugs. So be 100% certain. If it doesn't look right, if something's not sitting right, then consider those other possibilities. Especially in rural properties for sure. There you go.
There you go. Read that, people.
You need to get Louis on your podcast.
I'd have him on if he'd come on at some point. Yeah.
You need to get him on, and I'll sit in the background being helpful.
Just could have both of you on, like a round table.
Yeah, there we go. Bat bugs do need bat blood for proper reproduction. That was what I was told.
Okay.
So that, as I say, so if you're seeing live bugs but there's no breeding going on and you're in a rural property, ask that question. Do you have bats? Have you had bats over the last year? It's worth asking.
No, we never had a thought of that. That sounds all good advice on here. Are you okay to go for a bit, or do you want to end it now? Or
no, I'm quite happy. If you've got more questions, or if people have got more questions, I'm happy to go ahead.
So with bed bug, when you're doing a bed bug infestation, and say the conditions are not as hygienic as you probably want to do a treatment, do you make clients, or do you do any prep at all? So you can actually do it properly or not?
Sometimes you have to do it yourself. It's as simple as that. And, we've talked about elderly people, but, you have to consider mental health issues, drug and alcohol addiction, overcrowded living conditions. In London, it's crazy down here, living conditions wise. It can also be Not so much in the private sector, but in the social sector. Once you're in the social sector, it doesn't matter. If you have 4 more kids, the chances of you getting moved to a bigger house are virtually zero. Okay. So, for example, in my house here, I live in a small 3-bedroom council house, 1 double bedroom, 2 singles. There's myself, my husband, my daughter and her husband, and their 2 children living here.
Oh, okay.
Because that's just the way it is. So you get a lot of that. So sometimes you have to help. I'm one of the pest control. So we all fall into different camps. Some people like everything prepped before you go out. Yeah. I prefer not. If I can, I'll do the inspection and the treatment in the same day. That would be ideal.
The room in question is a complete and utter, everything's all over the floor and you can't see it.
Yeah. In which case, hopefully, so I've had those cases, and sometimes you have to get some social services involvement.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes that's rare, but you do sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you have to price it into the job, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have to price it in. It's going to cost this much for the prep work. You can give the advice. So I go out, I do the inspection. Obviously, that's not going to be treated on the same day. It's impossible. Yeah. So yes, there would be some instructions. Bag up all. Let's just get the floor clear. I'm not even going to stress about anything else, but let's get a clear workspace. Yeah. Get the rubbish in bin bags. Put the books in piles. Bag this stuff up and wash it. You know what I mean? Let's try and get a little bit of order to this situation. But it can be, but in those circumstances, they've usually had bed bugs for a considerable amount of time before they've reached out for help. For whatever reason, either poverty or shame or lack of capability, whatever. Yeah. They are more complicated. They are much, much, much more complicated jobs, and they're hard. Much harder to resolve because bed bugs these are the jobs where people are going out and buying those £20 cans of spray. And they're spraying the bed. So the bed bugs have then moved to the back of the wardrobe because the wardrobe's quite near the bed, and up to the ceiling junction and into the plug socket. So you're causing that spread. And that's the main problem with those sprays. They'll push them away for a few days, but they'll come back. People will think, it's worked. Yeah, I haven't had any bites for 7 days. And then as that chemical dissipates over time, because it doesn't have much residual, because it's a low-grade product, boom. Then they start coming back again, but they've deposited fecal trace in that area. They may have laid some eggs in that area. Yeah. It now becomes another viable harbourage. And excuse me 1 second.
No, you're all right. I'll just do a quick shout out. Shout outs to Jenny from the Pest Podcast. I presume that is Jenny. It's a great American podcast run by 2 great women pest controllers. Shout outs.
Hi. Hopefully that will do the trick. So that you just create more harbourages. Yeah. If you leave them alone, where they really want to be is the bed.
Yeah.
So don't pee them off. Don't agitate them. You remove them physically. Physical removal is the simplest form of pest control, right?
Yeah. It is, yeah.
You remove as many as you can find. As we said earlier, it won't cure the problem necessarily, but it will buy you breathing space, time to get the money together, time to find a pest controller,
Exactly, because it's like, I know it's not the same, but it's like when someone's dog or cat gets fleas, they sell them a flea thing that doesn't work, and they spray it down and it never works. I've got a 4-bedroom house and it's selling this tiny little bottle.
Yeah.
And they think it's going to work, but it's not.
No. And again, fleas are another problem. Fleas, all these insects that are a problem to humans in one way or another, where we've become very reliant on chemicals, we're going to have to stop doing that. We're going to have to find other ways. Head lice. So my kids had head lice when they were younger. It ran through the estate and the school like a dose of salts. Yeah. None of the chemicals were working, all using the same GP, all getting the same chemical, not working.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So my mum came down. She comes from a farming family, and she went, using that stuff all the time is not good for you. It's basically a weaker version of sheep dip. She said you don't want to be exposing yourself to that time and time again, because we were doing it twice a week. Like 5 of us with long hair.
I don't know what it was, but it used to stink to high heaven.
Absolutely,
It doesn't really stink now.
Not as bad. No. And she told me to go for physical removal. The old-fashioned knit comb, conditioner, twice a week for 2 weeks. You break the life cycle, job done. I had literally had mums queuing at my front door to show them how to do it.
Well, it wasn't when I was at school, but I heard stories of schools used to have a knit nurse go through your hair. I'm old
enough to remember that. Yeah, happy behind your ears. They pull all of that. Yeah.
Knit
but
nurse.
It's like they caught it early, and again, early detection is your greatest gift. Another tip for everyone: tell your customers, check your bed once a month.
Yeah.
Just have a quick look over it. When you're changing your bed in, wooden beds, you can just have a quick look. If you want to be a bit extra, like I can be sometimes, take a couple of the slats off, have a check. There's plenty of monitors out there. They vary in quality. I'm not going to promote anyone or diss anyone on this, but there are monitors out there. Try a couple. Best place for them, because as we all know, position is what is key, right?
Yeah.
Because you go to customers' houses and there's a couple chucked under the bottom end of the bed. I've had these monitors down for a month and they haven't shown anything. There's no bloody good there. Put your monitor under your mattress. Back of the headboard. Head end of the bed. You can have monitors. You don't have to have bed bugs to have monitors on your bed. Stick a monitor on your bed, especially if you travel a lot or you work in. I come across the same people time and time again, and I'm sure other pest controllers do. NHS workers, care staff, time and time again with bed bugs. They're public transport users. They're in and out of people's homes. They're up close and personal. They have a higher risk of exposure. Repeat exposure.
Yeah. I was asked once to spray a luggage bag, and I said no chance. Not spraying that. Someone actually asked me to spray their luggage bag.
Right.
I didn't do it.
Okay.
They go travelling a lot. They thought me spraying it with pyrethroids would help. But I was like, I'm not doing that. I said.
The problem is with bed bugs, everything that is your automatic instinct is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Everything that is your first thought is wrong.
Yeah.
And trying to get that out there. Do you know what? I don't care if this business works or not. If I can just get that message out there, the bedbug queen's 3 golden rules. If we can just get that out there, I'll be a happy woman.
It's good though, because you've got obviously pest control is pest control, but you've got, although it is business, and that you have got a personal story and mission behind it. You want to help as many people and raise awareness as you can. So it's a bit more deeper and personal, I think, to your business. It's not just to spray and pray and run. It's not.
Anybody can do that. I've always said it. This job is the easiest way to make money, whether you're scrupulous or unscrupulous. But for unscrupulous people, I could walk in every house I walk into. I could say, well, and I can't find anything, but bed bugs are really hard to find, and you have got bites. I can sort this for you. That will be £1,000, please.
They will
reach for the credit card every single time.
I don't mention names or anything, but I have heard in the past of people taking said money and just spraying water.
Yep.
But that reinforces the fact they think they've got them.
And then they think it hasn't worked because I've still got these bites. It hasn't worked. You need to come back again, or I need to get another pest control company. That's why getting to the root cause is absolutely essential. So, okay, I'm not sure it's carpet beetles. Yeah, I'm not sure. But what harm is there in you giving a thorough vacuum in? I'll put some bedbug monitors down.
Yeah.
You thoroughly vacuum, give it a little spray with the fabric conditioner jobby or some other whatever, anti-static thing exists out there. Yeah. And let's see where we are in 2 weeks' time. That's it. But it won't make me big money. It won't put me at the top of Google, and it won't buy me that huge advertising budget. But hey, I don't care. I can sleep at night.
Well, that's you're right, because you are supposed to find dead insect. And that's one thing I know that actually. I remember when I started speaking on American groups, I said we actually have to. I'm not saying every pest, because I know a lot of my friends don't treat unless it's an issue, but they were blown that we had to find a problem to spray. I was like, what? I said, we have to find the issue to spray. Brittany isn't like that. That's in chat. She doesn't do that, but there is people that do.
I had one in the group last week. I'm having an annual preventative spray.
That's what they call it, preventative. Yeah. I know, it's a different world though.
I just don't get that.
I don't imagine they're in California though. That wouldn't happen.
Well, no, probably not California. But yeah, I've never had an occasion. I've had one occasion where I didn't find any evidence, and then they called me back a week later because they were still receiving bites, and then I did find the evidence. I did find they had one bed bug.
Okay,
that's it.
That wasn't enough. That's not enough for you to treat, though, is it?
I wasn't, because there was no further evidence. There were no shed-skins. There were no eggs.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't treat. And speaking of the single bed bug infestations that never happen, in 10 years I've seen 4. So they are pretty damn rare. But it does happen. Every infestation starts with one bed bug. If that person spots the problem early, it will only ever be one bed bug.
That's good clear advice. Oh, I had one story from Dr. Richard Naylor. He was on about, how he sells bed bugs.
Mm-hmm.
He had a particular address in another country, and he said this address was ordering loads of them. And he had to do a bit of digging. And in the end, he says, we didn't send them. We think it was somebody wanting to plant bed bugs in a. He says, so now he says you have to be, not anyone can buy them. He says you have to have a reason you want them. Not, you can't buy it. And we didn't send them. He said it might have been a case of to get their own back on somebody. But
I've seen it used as a threat. Go on Twitter and type bed bugs into the search. And go for and just have a read through the latest stories. There's loads. They will use it as a threat. I'll send bed bugs to you through the post.
Wow.
So I wouldn't be surprised. However, you're gonna, when you open your post, you're gonna see it. They're not invisible. That's another little myth that I'd like to bust.
What's that then?
Bed bug, you can see them.
Yeah.
You can see them. All right, okay. A newly hatched first instar. Okay, they're very straw-coloured, very light in colour until they take that first feed.
Yeah.
But you can still see them. They are not invisible. The eggs are not invisible. If you got them and you look thoroughly, you will find the signs.
Yeah, I got told once that I was lying and I could see them crawling all over her face, and I was just lying.
Now that's one of those delicate situations.
Yeah, I said, because I had to speak to the daughter because she rang us up calling us charlatans. I said, we're not charlatans. You agreed to pay the little survey to come and have a look because it's not free.
Yep.
But I says, if we was a charlatan, we could have charged you God knows how much money, and took your money and been off. But we didn't do that. Her daughter rang and she apologised. I'm so sorry.
No, and that's a really difficult case.
Yeah.
Again, in some ways, this is a subject I can approach differently because there is a condition that middle-aged women can get where you get formication, I think is what they call it. It's to do with our wonderful hormone changes. So I can have that slightly different perspective and have that conversation obviously that's not the same as hallucinating bugs walking on the face, but that itching feeling, that crawling skin feeling, that's a conversation I can open up that I suggest possibly you wouldn't be able to.
No, I would no, definitely was not.
So,
thanks, Louis, for that. Cheers. That's not something. Even if I tried it, it wouldn't be down well. I don't know what I'm talking about. I read this on Google. It might be this.
Don't talk to me about Google. No. Do not Google. Step away from Google. We do not Google anything.
Oh yeah, Google will just convince you dying, or they will convince you of everything. Google will.
And you hear, but you see it. But the ID app told me it was a bed bug.
Yeah, you can talk about that. The ID apps do get a lot wrong. They do.
Yep.
I mean, they get some right. Usually get wasps correct and honeybees and stuff like that. Common things, but
anything small and brown is a bed bug.
Yes, you're right.
Every spider is a brown recluse. Like, it's. It just seems to go that way. Fear sells. Now, this is another thing. Fear sells, right? Yeah. It sells better than sex. So how else am I going to sell my products? And I don't mean mine. I mean Google in general. It's a business. Amazon in general, it's all these. Twitter, it's a business.
I'll show you something now. I'll show you before the show. But this here, I was told one day that in this 21st century, with all the gadgets and AI we've got, I was showing off my cards on LinkedIn once. Here they are. And they've got the names, etc. on there. And I actually got told, they told me that these are a bit primitive. But at least the pictures are right, aren't they?
It's basic. Listen, I'm still writing reports by hand. That's how old-fashioned I am.
Oh, everyone learns differently, but I think actually seeing pictures, at least it's more accurate than what Google will tell you.
See a picture like that where you can see. So I think that was maybe
12, 15 quid a pack.
Small beetles are not my thing, but I think that was either a drugstore beetle, cigarette beetle, or biscuit beetle, something in that category.
Well done. It was a foreign grain beetle. But you weren't far off because there's tons of beetles that look similar.
I'm getting better. I get a bit troubled with my sawtooth grain beetles and some of the merchant grain beetle because to me they look exactly the same. I know they're not, Louis. But it's a beetle.
I love you had to clarify that.
It's seeing a nice clear picture where you can actually get good definition. And you can see that head shape and the body shape. It makes ID so much. A blurry picture. What is this? A bed bug? No, that is officially a blob.
Yeah, I've had it before where I had someone sent me a picture and they were convinced they had a hornet's nest.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was a fly. It's a mimic hornet. It was. And it actually looked like a hornet.
Amazing.
You can get them. I Googled it and double-checked it. I AI'd it. The AI was actually right. It was.
Yeah, well, as long as you double-checked it. I mean, there's no... Listen.
I said to her, though, even if you had hornets, they're all over the place. They may not be in your garden. Mm. I won't go out if someone just has a couple on the tree. If you got if it's endangering people's lives, even though the public don't realise that hornets are very gentle by nature. They are, unless you really annoy them, then they will go for you.
I was stung by one as a child. The most painful thing I've ever. I used to live in Spain as a child, so they were out there, and I got stung. And honestly, the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life, including childbirth.
Wow, that really must be painful.
Really, really awful stings.
But no, it was a mimic, and she couldn't believe me. I says, "Well, it's not a hornet like you think it is. Just look yourself if you don't believe me."
But exactly, and that's why having that, I your little flip book there, and being
I've got more than that. I've got more than them. I have, but yeah.
Well, I have. I mean, we've all got our books and our bits.
Yeah, it's on this little pack. There's 54 different insects on it, and I think it's like. I think with the you get this because it's easy to put in the van, isn't it?
Yep.
And fall everywhere. I think with the clip, it's £15. I think not bad.
It's useful. It's for your domestic pests. You know, the common things. You know, your pantry pests, your general household pests. It's a useful thing to have.
And I've got a couple of the van too. Stay in the van.
Yep.
As well.
And that way you can actually say to the customer, "Look, hang on, give me a minute." Out to the car. Show them.
Yeah, because we've got at the end of the day, although we are pest controllers, we're not an expert in every single bug factually. There's thousands.
No.
You know, it's like beetles, there's like subspecies and all sorts. There's like loads of them.
Yeah. As I say, I can recognise common things that we find in our homes generally, but you know, anything more exotic, I'll either pop it in, you know, if I'm not sure, I'll tend to pop it in one of the pest groups first before I go to AI. Or I'll reach out to more knowledgeable people. But you know, we're not scientists, we're not entomologists. Most of us, you know, we've got field biologists and all that out there. You know, I'm just a girl from a council estate in Essex. You know what I mean? My education was basic.
There is nothing wrong with that at all.
No, nothing wrong with it, but that's my level. I'm not. I don't remember Latin names, and I remember a couple of the.
I was thinking of going for the field biologist course at some point, but I've got to learn all these Latin names. I've got to know them by ID, and that's what will hold me back. I've got to remember them, and because I think to learn them, you've got to break them up into little parts so you can say them, and then keep saying them correctly and spelling them correctly.
Well, I had to do that with the chemicals for the. I will say with Latin, it's an as it's written language is what I was told. It's so what you see is how you say it, but breaking it down like Louis did earlier will be helpful. But I think learning that stuff is hard.
I've got a good friend come in, Andrew Sinevsky, who's. He runs an American podcast, and he's got a pest firm over there, and he's got his own lab to do all sorts on insects. And he says we often use pest pictures to help communicate when we have a language barrier with a tenant.
And that can be an issue. Language barriers is something we don't really talk about much, especially. I mean, you know, I live in London. We're very diverse. You know what I mean? We've got every language, every culture. You know, and you see. All different kinds of family living arrangements. My biggest nightmare is when there aren't bed frames, when it's just a couple of rolled up mats on the floor. That's a bit of a problem because if you've got a bed frame, they'll probably mostly be in the bed frame. Yeah. When you're sleeping on the floor, they're going to be in other areas. So it just complicates things a bit. I don't think some people, I've heard some really quite unpleasant language around certain cultures. And I think where it comes in is if I came from a country where there were spiders the size of my hand and snakes the size of my leg, I'm not going to be worried about a little bug that's about yay big. Yeah.
There are different cultures and certain insects don't bother people. It just doesn't bother them generally because it's.
I think we in the West have become very dependent on. I think since the 50s, when we sort of had chemicals that worked and we're at DDT, we didn't know it was going to kill us and everything else. But hey, you know, it worked for a while. Yeah. I think we've just become reliant. We've got flies. We're going to go and buy a can of fly spray. Yeah. I'm more for the sticky, you know, the old fashioned sticky fly paper.
Good. They're good. Yeah, they're good. They work. They work.
So in my back garden at home, we've got, well, at the time we had 4 dogs and they had one area in the garden, which was their toilet, you know, so we could keep the garden nice. Yeah. But in the summer, the urine and everything, even when you're picking the poo up, there was loads of flies in our back room.
What I did there is put outside, I used them disgusting bags that stink. They're organic and they work quite well.
Okay.
But they do smell to high heaven.
Yeah.
So you have to let them ferment for a few days, but they do stink. All I did was
I went to Poundland, other retailers are available. I bought a pack of 5 fly papers, hung them up in the back room, really sorted the issue within a few days.
It works.
Within a few days. But don't ever, not an issue for you, don't take that wrong. Don't get your hair caught on them. I learned the hard way.
I know. They're really I got tons of hair, haven't I? I love not having hair, actually. I embraced it a long time ago.
Well, considering it cost me £100 to get my hair done the other day, I envy you.
Yeah, it's big. Like where I live in like one of the smallest counties in the UK, in Rutland, and in Oakham. And I tell you what, there is more women's hairdressers and men's barbers than there is actual shops.
Yeah, that many salons, nail bars.
Yeah, that's it. There's a few of them, beauticians and all that.
Yeah,
hardly any actual shop in comparison. There's more of them than there is of actual shops.
I know what
it's
you
what
mean.
It is.
It seems to be another growth area. Also,
we have a lot of not to pick on it, but we have a lot of Turkish barbers. They're very good, though. We have a lot of them.
The cash economy.
Most, yeah.
The
cash is king. They do say cash is king. They do.
Listen, I'm a big fan of cash. No, not just because I'm, not because of the tax man, but I'm just a big fan of cash. I think you can track your spending easier. If I've got 30 quid in my hand and I'm buying a couple of things, you're getting your change and you're seeing that diminish. Whereas if I'm just tap, tap, tap.
You can't do it where you spent all your money. Oh no, I've spent it all.
Yeah.
You don't think, you just hear that or whatever the noise is.
But modern technology is wonderful. I was doing an inspection down in Oxfordshire the other day, and the lady was like, "Oh, do I need to go to the cash point and draw money out for you?" I was like, "Do you have
really old? Because I still get that.
Yeah.
Do you need cash? I could go and walk down and get you. So I've got a card machine here.
I've got a card machine, or we've all got banking apps now. That's just as easy. The banking apps I find work well. That's a funny little thing. On a side note, there seems to be a lot of work in Oxfordshire at the moment. I've had more calls to Oxfordshire than anywhere else. And I don't know what's going on, but something is going on in that area.
Oh, okay.
Something will come out, I reckon, at some point in the future.
Maybe a big article from you in all the magazines. It'll be you at the front cover.
Well,
Bedbug Queen has sorted it out.
The whole of Oxford.
Yeah.
Well, not until they get rid of their congestion charging scheme. No, that's not fair. I can understand why.
Oxford, have they got that in?
They've just bought one in.
See, I'm very naive, you see. I live in the countryside, and I just know that London's got a congestion charge. I didn't know any other cities had it.
Oh, yeah, Birmingham. I know Birmingham's definitely got one.
See how country I am, people. I didn't know that.
That would be my absolute heaven, to be in the countryside.
I do go into cities, obviously, but closest I get is Peterborough or Leicester.
Yep.
But not often, but yeah. So where do you see bedbug work going in the future, next 5 to 10 years? Do you think it's going to get more prevalent?
Yeah, I think so. And as I say, I just look at America. They throw everything at it. Their health and safety laws and their environmental laws aren't as strict as ours. Countries where they have virtually no health and safety laws, where you just go and buy, farmyard pesticides, and you can use them in your house, in certain parts of the world. If they can't get on top of them doing that, we're not going to. If we carry on the same trajectory and relying on chemicals, we are going to have to look at other methodology, other practices, far more use. I could not do what I do without the Polty Cymex eradicator. I could not work without it. And if you haven't got one, get one. If you've got one, get another one as backup. I mean that most sincerely. That is going to be the way forward, and non-insecticide treatments. Perhaps apprehend. I don't know. Dr. Richard Naylor talks very highly of it.
Apparently, according to this article I read in, the only bit I will say, I might get right about this article in the latest BPCA magazine, is that it's currently being trialled in the UK, is what was said in the article.
Yes.
As well.
So he has been working on it. I'm hoping while I'm down there next month, I'm hoping that I'm gonna have a chance to see some of his slides. He reckons he's got some lovely shots of fungus actually growing out of the backs of bed bugs. So that I'd be fascinated to see that. Maybe it will be DE or silicon dioxide. I don't know, but I don't think insecticide is the future for bedbug control.
Okay, I won't argue with you because I think it is going. If you keep, I think it is going that way.
Yeah, it's going to have to. Listen, they can mutate and change quicker than we can develop new safe products.
But in general, a lot of the market is going towards wanting more non-toxic methods. It is.
And you know what? It's probably right. Yeah. You know, even with the rodenticides, as I say, it's not my area, so I'm commenting as an outsider, and I fully accept that. I follow a guy on Facebook. He does dog work. He's got a terrier. He does rat work. He's got like zillions of followers. I approve of that over pesticide use from an environmental perspective. It has to be better for the dog to do a quick kill rather than to poison that rat, something else to feed on it, and to continue that up the chain. We know how many owls we've lost over the last decade. They know they're finding rodenticide in their poo.
Yeah, that study's a bit. It's a bit of a, because they've never actually said it's killed the owls. They've said they've found trace elements. They've never been able to.
No, they haven't. I accept that completely. But we all understand the food chain. And we learned that at school. You know, it's the same with garden pests. You know, we use pesticides in the garden. That reduces the amount of insects, which reduces the amount of birds, and so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you.
People say, there's no insects anymore. No, because you've got 20 cans of whatever chemical in your shed that you're spraying all over your garden. No, you haven't got birds in your garden anymore because you've got no insects.
True, because not last year, it was a better year for wasps, but the year before that, there was no flies, literally. And there was no wasps because there were no flies because they eat them.
There you go.
See, it's cycles, isn't it?
We have to be.
There was flies. I'm just saying they were in very short supply that year.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. It's just one of those things. We're just going to have to. I think we've just become reliant. It's the same with pharmaceuticals. If you want to go down that route, if you've got a headache, people reach straight for a paracetamol or an other pain relief thing. Try drinking a glass of water first. You're probably dehydrated. But we all do it. And it's the same. I've got flies. Well, I'm not going to try and proof my windows or put up a fly, curtain to stop them coming in the kitchen. I'm going to go and buy a can of spray. I think we're just going to have to start rethinking those approaches.
Yeah. Now, Jason says dogs do have the limitation. He's right. They are not the answer. I haven't seen a dog go in a cavity wall yet. LOL. But they have benefits. Like I've got a friend who I speak to a lot. He's been on the podcast, Sam Tricky, and he uses dogs, and he said the amount of rats I've been able to get wouldn't be possible with just bait alone.
Yeah.
So there are benefits.
There's a whole debate about the dogs get injured or it wasn't a quick kill. Well, rodenticide's not a quick kill.
No, he's just adding to the debate. He's not arguing with it.
I'm not. I mean, I have no vested interest in this. I just think, realistically, if I was choosing for pest control at my home, because we have 2 dogs, and earlier on we had small children, I'd probably choose a guy with a terrier over. I mean, look, we did have rats here many years ago when we first moved in.
Yeah,
the property was already infested with rats. It was horrific. We had no carpet down and I could hear them under the floorboards at night. I mean, just awful. So we called the council. The guy came round. He chucked, I kid you not, a handful of something under the extension and under the floorboards. And he gave my husband a carrier bag full of rodenticide and said, just do that whenever you need to.
That's the way it used to be with the councils. Yeah. But not many councils have pest control anymore.
No, my council doesn't do bed bugs at all.
A lot of them don't do pest control full stop.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't.
They're all contracted out now. Which, councils haven't got the monies anymore, have they? So,
well, there's some, Arab's law, the mould.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few things changing from what I've read. But as of October 2026 in social housing, they have to do something about mice and rat infestations.
Good.
So I don't know. Don't quote me on it, but surely. I've read it in a couple of magazines. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but that's what was said.
I know my council still does rats, and I know my council still does wasps. But outside of that, I wouldn't have any idea. And I know they don't do bed bugs. It's on their website.
Because they know the headache it will give them.
Yeah.
And the minefield it would cause for them.
Yeah. It's hard in social housing, close-up housing, dense housing, poverty housing. And I live in a council house myself, so I'm not dissing anybody that lives in social housing at all. Yeah. But the truth, I'm lucky I have a house, but it's a terraced house.
Yeah.
And when my neighbours threw 2 beds out in their front garden, I was like a flipping meerkat up at my front window. Anyway, it was fine. I think they just got new beds. But, that's reality. But if you live in a tower block, well, those that gets infested with bed bugs, I would not want to be the landlord or the pest controller on that job.
No, I definitely agree with you.
They were paying.
Is there any other myths you wanted to bust? Or I think you've covered a lot of them, haven't you?
Pretty much sure. I mean, just the fact that if you think you've had them for 3 months because you've had these skin reactions for 3 months, you, even as an amateur, you will be able to find the signs if you look in the right places. So that back of the headboard, taking apart a wooden bed, flipping your divan upside down or your box frame or, the base. You, after 3 months of breeding, of egg laying, of shed skins, you're on your, by 3 months, you're on your 3rd, possibly entering your 4th generation. You're going to find signs.
Yeah. Okay.
That's about it, really. And just one more plug for my 3 golden rules. Don't use any over-the-counter sprays or fogger bombs. Don't move anything out of infested rooms unless it's thoroughly sealed. And don't abandon infested rooms.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'll tell you what, it's been a really good show. I've learned a lot.
Fantastic. Hope everyone's enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. So if you are with the British Pest Register people, give me a chance though. I'll have a look at you probably get 1.5 points. So I'll have a look at what it comes up with. Your code will be 1111.
Do you know what? Even I should be able to remember that.
Yeah, well, I make them, they're random, but what will happen is there's like 4 codes put down, all made up, and that's the correct answer.
Right.
But if anyone who wants to go through last year's on the British Pest Register, they've got to do quizzes on the actual questions they have. Oh. But at least you've got to show some verification that they've listened to it.
Yeah.
I didn't have any last year. It was me approving them, and I wasn't sure. A lot of the times, if people had actually watched it, I couldn't verify. But now it's all been sorted. There's any way of doing it. It is.
Yeah, because otherwise, everybody. I listen.
I can actually make questions on the whole podcast, but I don't. To do last year, I used ChatGPT with all the questions and to do it all. And I can assure you, making 47 quizzes, 46 quizzes was not. Yeah, it took me a long time.
Yeah, I don't fancy that. That don't sound like fun.
I don't need to do it again now. It's all done. It is. But thanks for coming on. It was really good.
And thanks for having me.
I think you've done really well. I did.
Thank you.
You've now been on a pest control industry podcast. You have, as well as your own live streams you keep doing. They're getting quite popular. They are.
Yeah, and I didn't advertise the last one properly. I forgot to actually put it in the group, so some people missed it because they didn't go to my profile. So I'm learning all the time. I told you before, I'm not techie at all.
Oh no, it's. I'll be honest. Facebook don't make everything easy. They really don't.
No. No, they don't.
They don't. It's like what happens with this podcast on Facebook is this podcast will stay up for a month, get all the views, etc. Then they'll take it down. I will have to re-upload the whole video, and then it stays up forever. So if it's live, they take it down and make you re-upload it. Saving storage space, apparently.
Right, thank you. You've just explained something that happened with the one that I did a month ago at the beginning of January.
Yeah,
I didn't realise. I'll upload it again.
30 days it takes. 30 days of the lives, they take it down, and the reason was they want to save on storage space, but most people will just re-upload it, and then it stays there forever.
Okay.
All right. It does.
Thanks for that bit of advice.
That was probably what happened then. It was.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
Have
you got the said video?
I have. I downloaded them because I shared it to other platforms.
Oh, that's good then. Yes, just re-upload it because that's what happened. Have you got anyone you would like to see on the podcast then?
Well, I think we should definitely get Louis on. He is a mine of knowledge. Christopher Venables, interesting man.
He's been on.
There you go. Yeah, he's a very interesting man.
He is.
No, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. But it's always, I love to hear other people's perspectives. And as I say, I had some quite rigid views when I came in. You know, heat treatment doesn't work. Well, actually, I've learned it can if it's done well. You know, so I'm becoming a lot more open-minded. For me, it's just about being moral about it. And I don't want to sound really priggish because I'm not. But don't take the pee out of people. When people are desperate, don't make their situation worse. And however you do the job, just do it right.
I fully agree with you because there's a lot of people that take advantage of people because not everyone is with a trade body. You'll find a lot of ones that ain't with trade bodies. They're the ones that may take advantage.
Yeah.
Because with trade bodies,
nobody upholding them. They've got no. I mean, we don't fear our governing bodies, but we know
bodies,
that we will be held to account. We will be
trade bodies.
Yeah.
Just make sure you call them trade bodies and not governing.
I did. I said trade bodies very carefully. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'll be joining you this year anyway.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
If you let me.
Anyone can join the MPTA.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely
if they want to. But yeah, thanks for coming on. And if you stay online for me, I'll just shut the stream down. So thanks, everyone. And next week, let's have a look. Who's on?
It's going to be your year, isn't it, next week? That'll be episode 52, one whole year.
Yeah.
It'll be your birthday.
Got Billy McPherson on next week.
Mm-hmm.
I have. I'll just reach out to him and check he's still coming on. But yeah, it might. No, it was in January I started. See, what happened was the first episode wasn't actually a guest, it was myself talking about the podcast starting. But I have to have it because I've had my LinkedIn birthday on Pest Perspectives, so it was a week or two ago. Yeah, it was, you see. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I'll just end the stream. But thanks for all the inputs on Louis and everyone else that commented. Thanks for popping in.
Cheers,
and
guys.
I'll see you all soon.